Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live digital dialogue on how to make your manufacturing facility safer without slowing production. Technology partner for this session is 𝒔𝒆𝒊𝒂 Cutting Systems India. Industrial safety continues to be a critical issue for India's manufacturing sector. And according to NCRB data, factory and machinery accidents claimed around 670 lives in 2023 and 660 lives in 2024. These numbers remind us that while manufacturing productivity is essential for growth, safety cannot be treated as an afterthought. We have an esteemed panel of industry experts with us today. So we're pleased to welcome Dr. Krishna Nirmalya Sen, advisor at L&T EduTech, and then Mr. Muthusekhar, Director for Geared Solutions at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒆𝒅𝒊𝒂𝒂 Power Drives India Limited, and Mr. Prashant Chaturvedi, who is the Joint Director for Sales, Marketing and Services at 𝒔𝒆𝒅𝒂 Cutting Systems India. Industrial safety is often seen as a compliance requirement rather than a business enabler. So to start with, Dr. Sen, in your view, what is the biggest misconception manufacturers have about safety and productivity?
So when it is a compliance part, from the safety point of view or quality point of view, people think that this function or this process of quality and safety is going to bring hindrance, because most of the time in the traditional way, some incident and then the tightening the statutory requirements. So this has been to a great extent reactive. But if you see the global picture, and of course the experience in some of the advanced European countries, if you see safety is a part of business, and many times safety is separately not being seen as a safety function. It is also integrated with the man who is going to do the execution or the production. He is responsible for safety. I think when we try to segregate the function of safety and quality, and take the ownership away from the line manager, then the problem starts. The main reason which you have asked the question, if I come to narrow down to the direct answer, is they are not able to see the larger picture, how the processes are integrated, and why safety should not be seen as a separate function. So there is actually main problem, because people are thinking safety as a sweet packet at the end of when everything is done. So safety should not be thought separately. It should be a part of the business, and then you have the productivity, quality, and profitability, everything, and that is a global experience.
Muthusekhar sir, what is your point of view on the misconception manufacturers have safety and productivity?
Misconception, I just want to tell in a single line, it is a lack of commitment of the leaders.
Yeah.
Because India is, most of the things are top driven. So when it is top driven, it has to be, the leaders have to drive the safety. They think that chalta hai, it will be taken care on its own. The production people will take, the quality people will take, or there is a safety team, the safety team will take. But in my opinion, the leaders lack the commitment, and the management should look into the safety aspects, and they should champion it. If they champion it and top driven approach is there, then the safety is part and parcel of the productivity as well as efficiency also.
Prashant sir, what is your opening statement on this particular aspect?
What we, as rightly said, that it is not a separate function. It has to be an inbuilt function. It has to be a process in part. Like in 𝒔𝒆𝒊𝒂𝒂, we say that quality is not a separate function. Quality is a continuous process which starts from in to exit of the machine, inward of the raw material to exit of the machine. Everything is, quality. So similarly, safety is what is supposed to be everywhere. At the same time, I also like to reiterate is like sometime what we culture that we create safety officers or the safety compliance people as if they are like, the bottlenecks or the ones who will stop, your activity, rather than they should be represented or they should promote themselves as people who support the function, who support the activity to be happening much more faster, much more reliable, and much more in a smoother way, rather than they just coming and looking at the compliance part. And just to add on that to an example is, I used to, as you all know, that I have been promoting flashback arresters and gas related safety for more than 18 years now across industry. And many places, when we put up a flashback arresters in a system, the little bit of gas supply is inhibited because the gas has to pass through the flashback arresters. Whereas the operator sometimes feel that he's not getting enough pressure for doing the cutting process. The only job is to go and increase the cylinder outlet pressure at the regulator, whereas he feels that these equipments are stopping his activity or slowing down his activity. So many times what they do, I used to see in many places, that there would be a flashback arrestor and they would say कि ये flashback arrestor से sir कुछ gas रुकता नहीं. And then once I inspected that, opened it out, and I saw that all the internal, the safety features of flashback arresters were removed. So what does that mean? Compliance is done. When the safety officer comes, he sees a flashback arrestor in place, whereas it is not actually in function. So we have to see that it is not like a policeman, just asking for your, for your, what we call as your license or your PUC, traffic policeman. He should be a traffic facilitator, right, who is trying to promote a smoother traffic in terms of smoother production in your organization, rather than just asking for your licenses and asking for your compliances. So if we built in that culture, I strongly feel that they can go hand in hand and they do not work in separation.
Muthusekhar sir, you work closely with manufacturing operations where productivity and safety have to go hand in hand. From an operational perspective, how can manufacturers improve safety without creating bottlenecks that affect production targets?
See, first of all, the company should not think safety is a cost center. So and safety is not clashing with productivity. I think this misconception and this negativity should be removed. So this is an enabler. So that is the way it has to be seen, number one. And number two is, it always starts with education, training, motivation, awards. Have we ever seen awards for safety? I think this kind of practices have to start inside the organizations. Way back 30 years back, C-form collections used to be there, because those days GST used not be there. So in my previous company, I created an award for the C-form collection, because that's the thankless job, and people would not collect the C-forms, and that will be a penalty for 10%, 20%.
Yes.
Where you need to pay back to the government. And so that's where I created, and that started a lot of motivation.
Cutting, welding and thermal processing operations involve significant risk. What are the most critical safety practices manufacturers should prioritize in this sort of environments?
Let me not be very rude in telling, but I have been visiting many plants across the country. And when I visit, especially some owner-based companies, I sometimes feel very sad, because owner drives in to the workshop in an Audi. And then on the way, I've been waiting for them. They will talk big about their car, that it is not Q3, this is Q5. It has this feature, that feature, safety features. And then when you walk through the plant, even the operators are in sleepers, not even in the, a safety shoes. So, you can spend another 1 crore rupees on your car, but you cannot spend 20,000-30,000 rupees on some safety gadgets. We spend heavily on capitals. We don't spend on services and equipments which are meant for safety. If we go to our machines also, we maybe 𝒔𝒑 is termed a little costly equipment as compared to their competitors, but then there are a lot of safety features we inbuilt on machine. Rarely ever you must have heard any accident on a measure cutting machine, right from the hose, the crimping, the pressure testing, to the safety string, that anybody crosses the particular area, immediately the activation happens and the machine stops, the emergency switches, the electrical panel safety, all the parameters are taken care. So my submission is that as definitely cost and investments, it is not that everybody has flowing money. We need to make a balance of that, but it is worth to invest in such things as well, which are going to give you a long-term benefit, not only rationally. When you implement a lot of safety features in your plant, your employee motivation level is also very high. That is something which we don't count for. It is not tangible. An employee feeling that his life is being cared by the management would give you 20-25% more output. I challenge you. You do some study with some experts as compared to a demotivated, not cared employee, no safety compliance in the plant. So we may reduce their salaries to save costs rather than we invest on these things. Their motivation itself will give you more productivity. That I have seen across my 32 years moving around not less than 500, 700 plants across India.
Right. So, sir, if you had to choose one metric that manufacturing leaders should track more closely to improve safety performance, what would it be? To start with Dr. Sen.
So I think one parameter which we come back to the question is that they should allocate a time or a frequency and a review process. For example, in a couple of organizations, they have to have 2 observations a day. That is, of course, at a working leadership level. But if at the top leadership level, it may be a time they are spending for discussion and for review. So that may be one parameter which I will.
Right. Muthusekhar sir.
You asked for one. I will say 3.
Bonus.
Training. Like, rose is a rose.
Right.
Training is a training.
Right. Prashant sir.
Yeah, and one thing is awareness. And that is where I feel, like what we have Chai Pe Charcha. I just got my green tea, so it remembered me like what we have Chai Pe Charcha. We can in the plant have safety pe charcha sessions. At the same time, one thing that I have found in one of the articles and I liked it, we people are very good at finding faults with others. So if there is a cross-functional, cross-departmental discussion that the one department suggests safety improvements for the other department, they do it very well. When we see at ourselves, many times we feel, "Arey, sab to perfect hai, hum log to bahut dhyan rakhte hain," but others, we generally find very good improvement in other people. So if that typical human behavior can be used for our safety improvement, I think that's worth it to have like that sort of a behavior.
Sincere thanks to our audience for joining us today. And we hope the insights shared today help you to take meaningful steps toward building safer, more resilient manufacturing operations. I would also like to thank Mr. Cutting Systems India for partnering with Mojo for Industry to bring this important discussion as technology partner. Thank you all. See you soon. Till then, stay safe, stay compliant, and make manufacturing safety a shared responsibility.